recording.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close the executive session.
Motion, Dennis Green.
Motion made by Dennis Green. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Linda Brennan. I'll do a roll call. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
Joshua Clements,
Yes.
Dennis Green,
Aye.
and Jack Donovan. Linda Brennan.
Aye.
And Glenn Underwood, aye. So the executive session is closed. Now I'll entertain a motion to seal the minutes of the executive session.
I motion that.
Motion made by Dennis Green. Do I have a second?
Second.
And who was that? Was that
Second. Rosemary. Yep.
Oh.
Rory.
Rory
I
Comedy
think the audio's
seconded?
off.
Yeah, you faded on me there. I couldn't quite tell. All right, I'll do a roll call. The motion's been made and it's been seconded to seal the minutes. Roll call. I'll start with Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
Linda Brennan,
Aye.
Joshua Clements,
Aye.
and Glenn Underwood, aye. So the minutes of the executive session have been sealed, and now we are back in open session. And we are on to agenda item 4, election of officers for 2021. At our last meeting, we voted for a chairman's position, which I was elected to, Glenn Underwood. And we have a vice chairman's position that is open and needs filling. So as I know, we have some new members and we're just starting. Dennis was our previous vice chairman and for other purposes, does not want to take the position at this point. So is there anyone interested in the position? And if so, we can have a motion to appoint someone as vice chairman. The biggest part of the role right today, this second, is if I can't chair a meeting, somebody has to be able to take over, the appointed person to take over and run the meeting for us. And that's the primary role of vice chairman. Dennis is still handles a lot of paperwork things and stuff, but he's looking to pass some of the work off to the vice chairman too. So.
I make for 1 second. John Studley, if you've got the email for the other people that are supposed to be in, could you send them a quick email saying we're back into open session, just so they can try to come back in? Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, we're good. All right, so does anyone have an interest in the position and at this point?
It's only session 1, so I'm not really sure what the vice chair would do. So hesitant to take it on at this time.
Okay. We don't have to fill it tonight. It's not if people want to hang on for another meeting or two, we'll just keep it on the agenda so we can fill that role. Obviously, both you and Linda are new. Jack and Rory both have other commitments that they have filled, and don't, they're busy doing with that. So if we want to hold, we can certainly hold this as an agenda item. Linda?
I feel the same way. I feel like I'm way too new to
Okay.
take on something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we won't proceed with anything on item 4. Is everybody all right with that for tonight?
Yes.
And we'll, okay.
I guess, Dennis, would it be all right to reach out to you to maybe discuss the responsibilities and just kind of get a better understanding of it?
Whenever it's convenient for you, it's not a problem whatsoever. But I will say, you gotta keep up with the paperwork. You gotta be one step ahead of them or you get lost.
Hi, this is George. Has I signed in too soon?
Nope, you're George, that's fine. We hear you. We'll be down talking and shortly. We're on agenda item 4, election of officers. So we'll be moving really quick to where your any discussion with you. We'll be there in a minute. Okay, so Joshua, you'll reach out to Dennis and discuss responsibilities too as a possibility. And certainly, Linda, if you feel you want to reach Dennis or just stay on and just watch as we go along with these meetings here, and then possibly take interest too. So,
Okay.
all right, ongoing. I'm reading the agenda. So our next item 5. Rhode Island Land Trust Council dues or status. I don't know whether we had authorized payment, and I think John was going to check to make sure that they had been paid. We don't have our financial report, so.
I can add something. The state land trust does not have the dues yet.
Okay, so
This is about 3 weeks ago, I made contact. So I think right now, based on what I know is happening in finance, it's in their loop, somewhere in that loop. If Russell notified them to cut a check, it's still in their loop.
All right, so the town, we have forwarded our contribution yet. John, are you there?
Hi, yes.
Yeah, can you-
So we had forwarded it to the town hall, so all I know at this point is that it was.
You cut the
finance
check
department.
yourself?
No, we had a paper that we had to fill out.
Oh,
And,
okay, fine, all right. I
We
understand.
forwarded that to the finance department,
Okay, so they haven't cut the check.
correct.
So how do we solve that problem?
I guess the only option is,
I will
To,
check into it tomorrow for you.
right,
Right. It's like $125 or whatever it is. It's not much, but we just want to get our status with them, caught up to date on that. All right, thanks, Ed. All right, so let's move on to other old business topics. And I know Mr. Boxdale, do we have other people that are on? I want to try and get to the people first before we just talk about trail management and other stuff that people might not be interested in. So is there anyone for Grasset property besides Mr. Boxdale? About Leah, is she on? Can you see who's on, Ed? Anybody else dial in back in?
at the beginning of the meeting, I saw Mr. Grassett. I don't know where he went, but from the beginning, I never saw Ms. Kavanaugh.
Okay, yeah, I think she's, knows that we're gonna set up the sidewalk. So let's go, and I'm hopefully he'll join us back. If you do happen to see him, join us back there. Is everybody comfortable? I know Mr. Boxdale's here, so we can, item 6.2 is the Grasset property, which also involves Mr. Boxdale. So at this point, we don't really have an update for you. We need to meet and work with Mr. Grasset now to move. Obviously, that was some of the stuff that we are now in full-fledged talking, but we just have to sit down and move with him and then put the piece together that, contingent that we can purchase this property would be contingent upon getting the access that we discussed last meeting with you. So I don't really, unless you have a question for us, or unless any other trust member has a question for you, I don't think tonight we really have anything other than we are actively moving forward now. We've got a direction and a path here.
Well, that sounds like good news to me.
Okay. Does anyone have anything from Mr. Boxdale? All right, we'll certainly, like I say, I think we have a
Can I ask
plan.
one quick question, Glenn?
Sure.
Just crossed my mind. George, you're still donating, correct?
I'm still donating, yes.
Okay, perfect, great. That's great. That's great.
Thank you.
I've checked on the requirements for making a donation. And I've made arrangements or am in the process of making arrangements to get the strip of land appraised. And in order to make a donation, I have to do that.
That's for tax reason, correct?
Yeah, that's for taxes. And as a result, I need to share that with you folks. And that's what I will do.
Right. That's
Yeah,
true.
so,
That's correct.
so that whole portion of it obviously is, the town finance. And so when this all gets structured and all the pieces together, that is a portion for you that you're responsible for, and the town will acknowledge, that valuation, unless it's way out of control or whatever. But so, yeah, that's an important part for your purposes. So hopefully, next meeting we'll be continuing to move this forward and work on it. As you know, it takes a while because we still have to come back to the council and discuss all of this with them. So once we get ourselves in order, which I think we got a plan, then we have to go to council if everything works that way, and they review it and will either accept our recommendation or not accept it. And if we've done our homework, hopefully they will accept it. So that's where we're at.
Okay, very good. Then I'm going to sign off, and I will join you at your next meeting.
All right, thank you.
George, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye now.
Bye, George.
Bye-bye.
All right, so I don't know if there's anybody else then, if Leia's not on, and from the Kavanaugh and the McGuire property. So 6.2 is Grassett property, and Gary hasn't joined back in. So our next steps, I guess, and then we'll jump back up to, I'm going to keep, if it's all right with everyone, I'm going to keep the Heritage Estates to the last part of the meeting there, just to go through, because we've got some tasks to assign there. So the next step for Grassett property, I guess, would be to sit down and schedule a meeting with him to talk a concept and see what kind of numbers he's interested in at this point. Is that?
Yep, that's correct. And let him know, well, what I'll call it the contract for now. We know that land is going to be donated. So that can be brought up to him also during this discussion, along with what we had our executive session about. And then he's got to decide yes or no. And when I'm going through a process here. If he says yes, then we dump it in on Nick's hands to do the PNS. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would think the next, if we can come to terms, with a number that we're comfortable with, the next thing prior to PNS would be.
He'll know the land's being donated officially now, based on what George is saying.
Right.
So
I'm not sure whether he's so much concerned about the Boxdale property. He's more concerned probably about his. I think the
No, I
next step.
understand, but it's a little incentive to say, hey, we're making progress.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So our next step, and I think Ed was on this, is that we would, before we sign, we can't sign the purchase and sales. We're going to have to go to council, and probably,
Okay.
describe.
I'm one step ahead. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
thinking ahead too far. All right.
I think
Okay.
the council has to get the concept of what we're doing and what it looks like to before a purchase and sales.
Okay.
So next
right.
step on Grassett is, now I guess one or two of us could call Mr. Grassett and sit down and just see where he's at for numbers on that. I don't think we have to do any more than just talk to him to see where he's at. And
As a
then
group.
I don't know whether the
Oh, you're telling me.
Trust-
I'm sorry. I keep on interrupting. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know whether the trust as a group has to do this, or whether we can just send the chairman and or one other member to meet with him to see where he's at for his numbers.
That would be quicker, as you just said. That would-
Yeah, I think it would be cumbersome to have the whole
Yep.
trust board go.
Okay. So I don't think we need a motion or anything if everybody thinks that's the step that we should do. I think it is the step that we should do, is we should say that, yes, we are still interested. What's your number? And then we can report back to this group at the next board meeting that this is where, and then we can decide about negotiating, or, and at least, we'll be going to that particular meeting with a little bit of information on our side as for where we stand, and we can always say, well, we're way far apart or we're good, we're close.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so I'll make that contact with Gary and do a quick meeting with him just to say that we're interested. What's his number? We need a number to we're getting down to this, so we don't want to waste time. All right, so that's item 6.2. Anybody else have anything additional for item 6.2 where we stand on the Grasset property? 6.3 McGuire property. I think that's going to be the same sort of concept as we just talked with,
You'll make contact with him.
I'll make contact with him and report back. Okay, 6.4, is there any other discussion on the McGuire property other than reaching out to the owner to see what, he feels he wants to get for the property? And I'm going to try and get these people, both of them, to put their numbers in writing, so it's not, that they need to report back to the board and with a solid number in writing that we can discuss at the next meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Okay, moving on to Leah Kavanaugh's property. So the two new members need to do the site walk, and then we will review the scoring sheets at the next meeting. So that has to stay on the agenda, because then everybody will have walked it, and we can do the together as a group. So Joshua needs the ranking sheet. I sent Linda a ranking sheet. Were you able to print that out legibly?
I could, yeah. I didn't try to actually print it, but I'm sure I could. So I can do that.
Yeah, it wasn't a good copy though that I scanned when I saw it. It's just like, I'm not sure. That's why I wish we were meeting together so we could just pass these scoring sheets, and then you'd keep a pile of them, because the same for you. But I can forward it to you, and then you can see if you can print it out and read it and see. Basically, every property we do a ranking of it, and to make sure, and we do it as whether it's on the site walk or as individuals doing the site walk, and then we get together and we go over our numbers, so we all come to a consensus of where our rankings are and whether the property is viable to make standards to review. We have to get 20 points is our minimum out of.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can get up to 40 total, but 20 points to make it a viable property for preservation. It's our standards, I guess, that so after the site walk, so you're going to want this sheet before you go on your site walk, so you can just see some of the things that you're going to be reviewing the property for.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I've seen the land trust do an evaluation in one of the public forums previously. So
Okay.
familiar with some of the terminology.
Okay, so I'll send you for that form and see if you can print it out.
Great, thank you.
Is it customary to bring the form with you and as you go? Yes. Okay.
You can write some notes on it. I mean, I do mine and then, have my own numbers, and then it's like when we get together as a group, sometimes someone can convince somebody to jump a ranking up or jump a ranking down, or we're all the same, so it's take it with you so you can, as you're looking at it, it keeps it fresh in your mind what you're looking for.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. So should we come up with a date now when,
Yeah,
when
now
the two?
Now it's time to work with Dennis so he can reach out as for possibilities when you two are available. And I think Leah said she works, some
Second shift, yep.
second shift, so she's usually around. We did our site walks all in the morning. I think we were like 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. on a Saturday that I did mine.
Okay. Joshua, I'm busy Mondays and Tuesdays, but I'm free most of the rest of the week. So what about you? Do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I work Monday through Friday, so weekends would be best. I
Okay,
could coordinate for like a weekday time if necessary, but prefer like a Saturday or Sunday morning if possible.
Saturday or Sunday morning would be fine with me. That would work okay, depending on family things, but yeah, usually that would be okay.
You have a calendar. I got the 20th of March is a Saturday. The
Okay,
21st is a Sunday, and then the following weekend, would be 20.
okay. I could do it in the morning on the 20th, and I could do it on the morning of the 21st, or the 27th or the 28th, either one. I have something in the afternoon on the 20th, but
Want to try for the 21st or the 27th then, and maybe give two options to the owner in case she's got
Okay.
something conflicting.
okay,
One day this weekend, one day next weekend.
sure.
So
So that works,
the
Dennis.
first date is what, the 21st, which is a Sunday. What time are we talking?
Yep, this Sunday, maybe 10.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock?
Unless earlier works. I don't want to interrupt the second shift. I understand that. I worked that for a while.
Yeah, so probably 10 a.m. is probably a good choice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 10 a.m. The
Yeah.
21st.
Sounds
When does
good.
that work for you?
That works for me.
Okay. Now the 27th, which is a Saturday,
Would be the same thing as
same
far as
thing.
time.
10 a.m. in the morning.
Mhm.
And that's the times we did last time. So I think it should work for her.
Great.
If you knock on the door, as far, right now, I think she'll be home, but until I talk to her, I don't know. All right. So we got the 21st at 10 a.m., which is a Sunday. Then we got Saturday, the 27th at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And then she'll tell me what date works for her. And then I guess we'll go from there. All
Okay.
right.
So that's the sketch on the agenda here, the site walk scheduling, review the scoring sheets we'll do next meeting because we'll all have visited it and go over that. And then after we score it, and if it does rank, then that next agenda item, appraisals, once we say that it does or doesn't, I should say, I shouldn't say that it does automatically. But if it does rank worth preserving, then we will discuss having an appraiser hired and getting the 3 estimates for the appraisal cost. So
you're going to do the appraisals after the score?
yeah,
Can't do it in parallel?
yeah, because well, I mean, we could.
I mean, he's
well, we
only
could
going out for
get
a
the
bit.
appraisal. Yeah, we probably could get the appraisals done. So, John, are you still with us? Yeah. So obviously, and I know Russ had some ideas of getting this done, of getting a couple estimates for doing appraisal of the development rights. Along with that, so we need to have that ready to go so we can say, proceed if we have those numbers, if it ranks next meeting and we have the appraisal numbers that it's going to cost X dollars for doing the appraisal. Can you work with Russell and get some appraisals for development rights from reputable appraisal firms, or at least get the estimates, solicit 3 estimates?
Yeah, we'll start working on that.
Okay.
So that's going to be a WIP, right?
work in progress, yeah. Yeah, we should,
All right.
because you're right, Dennis, if we do rank it, then it'd be right, appropriate right after that to say, all right, that's the appraisal, we're good with it. Let's go and move. Okay. All right, does anyone else have anything on the Leah Kavanaugh property? All right, that'd be really nice if we can get that rolling at the next meeting. Black Rock,
Oh, I'm sorry. This has crossed my mind. Do we need to be talking to Leah on some idea? No, we're gonna wait for the appraisal, I guess. All right, we'll wait for the appraisal. That makes more sense. All right,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, I have a question. Dennis, when you make your appointment, do you have our contact information so you can let Joshua and I know when it's going to be?
Okay. Let's do it that way. All right. So Linda, what would be your contact information?
Do you want to contact me via phone or
Let's do
email?
phone. Let's do phone
Phone.
for me. Yeah, because,
Okay, 401.
yep.
Do you really want to put your
821.
phone number out in public like
you're
this?
on,
That's what I was gonna say.
No, I'm gonna
Yeah.
call her directly. I'm not gonna,
No, she
Yeah,
can
No,
put
no.
your
we're
phone number
on-
out right
We're
now.
public.
yeah. So
We're
Dennis,
public.
all right, okay.
I'll send you both Joshua and Linda's email address.
Email, okay, fine. enough.
And
All
that
right.
way you, and so I guess the other thing that way you'll get their phone numbers, and at the same time, Joshua, I'll send and Linda an email, so I have your contact numbers in case we have to cancel a meeting or something or other, but
Okay.
I know Gail's got some of that information, but I'll share your email addresses with Dennis, and that way he can reach out and get your phone numbers and make the contacts with Leah and that.
And what I've done in the past with Leah on the other sidewalks, I've also given her the emails to people.
So she can
Just
contact.
Right.
Okay, I'll do that after the meeting, Dennis. I'll show you their Linda's and Joshua's emails. Okay. Black Rock, 6.5 Branford property, Black Rock Road. Does anyone have any update, discussions, or anything?
As far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, we're still waiting for Russell to get a response from the owner.
Okay. So nothing, no action on that.
I mean, unless John knows something that Russell told him, I don't know anything.
Yeah, at this time, the letter was drafted, and at this point, it's just waiting to hear back. So we haven't heard anything.
Well, so he sent it out.
Yeah, so if it hasn't gotten to him yet, it's on its way. But as of right now, we're not really sure
Okay, all right.
if he's received it or not. But we should be hearing back.
Okay. All right, we'll throw it on throw it on the agenda for the next meeting, and if there's any discussion or we get a response to the letter, that we'll know then. All right. So the only other thing under old business is our Heritage Estate, which is also known as what we want to call it, the Janice L. Sullivan Conservation Area. And we said we wanted to, at our last meeting, to get Dennis's famous task list, because this is where we want to hold land trust events Saturday, September 18th, 2021. Obviously, I guess we're feeling fairly comfortable that the COVID situation will be mitigated enough, so an outdoor meeting, we still may be socially spaced, but an outdoor hike is doable on this property and will be our showpiece, and at the same time unveiling the sign and the name of the property. And so I guess the action on this, does everybody have Dennis's task list that came with the agenda package?
Yep.
So when you look at that list, it's fairly comprehensive. It's tried and true because we used it. And Dennis did a great job keeping us focused on chores and stuff, and things to think about. So one will be the sign that we discussed at the last meeting, getting that installed and ready to go. And we didn't want to put it up too far in advance. But we still got to actually move forward with the actual approval of the signage. I think we discussed it. We didn't approve the go ahead on that, did we last meeting? I don't have the minutes.
I
so-
don't think we did,
Okay,
but I don't have the minutes either, but I don't think we did.
right. I don't remember the motion to,
Right.
I think the concept was fine. We were all happy with the signage that Rory had done the homework on for. But we do, all right, so for the next trust meeting on the agenda, we just need the approval of the funds that were required for that sign. So Rory, be ready to present that, so we can just give them the go ahead and get it. So that'll be at the April meeting, and then
Okay.
we'll need a delivery date by, like mid-August, so it's in our possession and then ready to go when we're ready to dig some holes and then install it up there.
Okay.
Okay, on the agenda I submitted, we all work from. I just put material and labor, which that would be cost. Like color scheme with the letters, the background, I don't know if it's gonna be all the same or the letters are gonna be separate color, the ideal. And of course, completion date is the key to all of this, so, all right, all right.
Okay, so that discussion on that finalizing and approving will be next meeting.
Okay.
And we'll set our date for that, they'll still give them basically, 4 months or so to get it completed. So I think that's a good timeline.
Perfect.
All right. So task A on Dennis's worksheet here is basically getting the sign, and then making sure it's delivered in time and then install it. So after we approve the funds, next meeting, I'm certainly willing, when, August comes and we get the sign and set the date to help dig the holes and then install it. We'll put our cement and various things in that we need to do. So I'll volunteer to work with anybody on sign installation. We'll set it. I'm good on weekends.
Okay.
So that's task A. Rory, we're going to leave you championing the cause and being the person after the approval to oversee and make sure that the sign work continues and be the liaison.
Okay.
All right, so that's gonna be Rory.
That'll be Rory will be the liaison for the sign, and then
Yep.
I'll cheerlead the installation of it and the digging of the post holes and stuff until we find ledge, and then Dennis, you're going to do it.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, so on the next task list is trails and establishing what we want to make for a trail. And the old, Dennis has here the old logging road, and I think we all, when we did the site walk, we used the old logging road right across the property. Is there and for Joshua and for Linda's perspective, Dennis and Jack are our trail experts on how to mark a trail. They learned all sorts of things, how to paint the markings and how to put all the stuff on it. But
I have to say one thing, Jack taught me everything.
Oh, yeah. Duct tape.
So we generally, how we do this is we like to get a work party together, and I think this would be good for a work party, that we walk up the trail and make sure that we're all happy with where the existing trail on the property is, and whether we just want to, for this exercise, it'll be a up and back sort of routine to develop the first trail, that's already, it's pretty much there. But I'd like both Joshua and Linda to sign on board to walk
Absolutely.
Yep.
and help us, do whatever we need. That the first time we do this, it may just be walking and scouting, to make sure that we say, if we see something that we want to do a little bit different or whatever. So we need to set that date for
Right.
as soon as possible to give us time
Right.
to do the work. So
Right.
this could be any Saturday or Sunday that we can spend, I think the first, what do you figure, Dennis and Jack, maybe an hour or so, hour and a half, just to walk up and see what we got and lay out and make sure that the plan and what other materials and tools and things that we'll need.
Hour and a
Well,
half.
Hour and a
All right.
half.
Yeah.
To give ourselves an hour and a half, some Saturday or Sunday morning sooner than later, just to scout the property and make sure that we're all in agreement that this trail, and come up with the added work that we need to do, whether it's doing some chainsaw or other than painting the stuff.
Well,
So-
at first I gave a thought of putting, 4-foot stakes, painting them onto the top part. Because, but that's something that's, we establish the ground rules as we go along.
Yep.
If someone's got a better idea, we got to be able to mark the trail. So,
Yeah,
We took
stakes
that
or
first.
surveyor tape or something, just to kind of get an idea. I guess my question is there opportunities for other volunteers outside of just members of the
Oh, yeah.
council?
we-
Okay,
We certainly want other people to help us with this project. So, and we've got more trails that we want to get going on. So anybody if you know somebody that wants to go for a walk and then help scout and help mark and take a look at, some of it's just picking up some branches sometimes, but
Yeah.
certainly anyone is invited to go. We don't discuss any business at this, other than we're just going to walk up the
Understood.
trail and just see what we need to do. And then if we have to discuss business, then we got to come back to the trust meeting to be an open meeting. But
Right.
this is more of just a scout, put up some stakes and so
it's
that's
classified, based on what we did the last time, it's classified as a work maintenance concept, no meeting, no
meeting,
discussion,
no,
of
right,
anything.
no discussion, we're just gonna. All right, so I'm thinking that in April, because we've got 2 trust members that are maybe committed in March here. So April, looking at the April calendar
We got the-
for either a Saturday or, like I say, Saturdays or Sundays are good for me. So I'll let other people choose in April, but let's do early April.
My only concern is that April 4th is Easter Sunday.
Yeah, I don't think we'll,
So,
So that Saturday before would not work either, because you got Good Friday.
yeah.
let's stay off of that weekend.
Mhm.
That'll give Jack time to hide the Easter eggs. So
Yeah, yeah.
let's, so.
I have a
any-
commitment for the 24th, sure.
all right,
I have
so-
a commitment for the weekend of the 10th, so locking us into the 17th, maybe?
17th, 18th is open for me.
18th, is that
open.
a Sunday?
17th or 18th?
18th is Sunday?
18th is Sunday.
Sunday.
Right, Sunday's the 18th.
Okay.
So did we say Sunday or Saturday, the 17th or the 18th?
Does anyone have a preference or can't?
I would prefer Sunday because I think I'm going to be expected to be some other place the day before.
Okay. April 18th, Sunday, April 18th at 10 a.m.
Okay,
And we'll plan 10 to noon just to do a walk and look at the trail situation there on that property. And at the same time, we can figure out the other stuff on Dennis's task list here. That's like parking, discussing that, how, what needs to be done, if anything, and whether we need to get the town to do anything. We remember there was a pretty good sized landing there where they had done the logging and stuff. So it may be just grading and dropping some wood chips or various things that, you know, to make the, like, sort of like we did up at the Bowden property. So that's
That was
tax, Yep.
10 o'clock? 10
10
o'clock?
o'clock.
Sunday, the 18th.
Bramblewood West,
We're going to meet at Brandon Bush.
Bramblebush West, West.
Okay.
Yeah,
Everybody
remember,
there?
Dennis,
Oh,
we drove around a couple times there. Anyway, so if you don't know the property, you're going to be going to, as Jack said, Bramblebush West for the entrance area, and then you're going to drive all the way down to the end, and it's going to turn from pavement to, and right at the end of the pavement is where the property is. And
Well, Jack,
I'll get there a little bit early, so if you have any questions, I'll also share my cell phone too with Joshua and Linda. So if you have any questions, or directions or whatever.
Very good.
Good. All right. So going down the task list, the parking, that's we'll evaluate that situation when we're there, and look at the parking. That's task C. Task D, general cleanup and stuff. We'll see if we need any cleanup. I haven't walked the area, so this will be good for us to see. We can always put a couple of trash bags in our back pocket, so if there's any loose trash that we see along the way, we can grab it then. But obviously, before the site, the event itself, you know, a couple of days before, we want to just make sure that no one's dumped any trash. So, because if we do get some attendees, we want to make sure the area looks good.
Bramble Bush is where most of as we saw, Jack, there's a couple of tires there.
Tires, yeah, I
Yeah,
think 6 or 8 of them that I
Oh,
recall.
yeah, right. And there's some other items. I can't remember what they were, but
All right, so we'll bring our notepad with us on the 18th, because things like that we can call over to the town, or we can pick them up and drop them off over at the transfer station there. So we'll do a good inventory of what we need. If we can pick anything up and get it out, then we will. If not, we'll reach out to Public Works to help us pick up the stuff. And
right
then,
now, Bramble Bush is the key area for cleanup. That's where most of the
Yep.
junk was. That I remember.
Question on that. I guess, has there been outreach in that Bramble Bush neighborhood to say, hey, we're opening up this open space and
that's
looking for
a
volunteers to
good
help?
point. Very good point. We haven't done a little bit of outreach there, and so that's a excellent point, because the neighbors obviously, you know, now that traffic potentially, not that there's a lot of traffic, but you know, we want them to know that there's an event. And number two, we want them to know that, you know, there'll be, you know, some public access, and that always makes people nervous, you know, that they don't want to see cars going down there, or what are they doing down there, because they're used to it being, you know, private property. Now it's public property. So good point. So we should put together a little flyer, I guess, for the people there, a little wording about what the intent is for the neighborhood, that we could drop off at the people on the road there, so they know that we're not building some big development, whatever. We're hoping to keep it, you know, very minimal and clean. But that's a very good point, Joshua. So does someone want to champion coming up with just a public relations letter to the neighborhood area there in the Bramble Bush community?
Is that something that we've done in the past? Again, being
No,
new,
because
what we've done in terms of outreach to start
I'm
that
not-
conversation.
we don't have, under our term, at least my term, we don't have a lot of acquisitions. This is Forest Hills is Forest Ridge, which is one that we have not put on our agenda, but we need to bring back on after we get through this, is one where we have a little bit of a contentious neighborhood up there. They pretty much, I think one of the landowners especially wasn't hoping to see any trails or any public use of the property, even though that was the whole thing that it was acquired for.
Reason why we bought.
Yeah. So making friends that is important, or at least letting them know what's going on. I'll take that. I'll draft up something for our next meeting so we can review it.
Who's
So-
who's the town councilor over there? I mean, it's
Be Ann.
not Ann Dixon, that's out our way. Who's,
I mean, it's Western, so I would imagine it would be Ann Dixon.
is it
No,
Ann?
No, I think that's just, well, is that Ann or not?
I don't know if it's central, yeah, I don't know either, because Ann's got a lot of, she does the next door page, and she does some other stuff. She might be able to put something out that people might hear it differently from her.
Good point.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, let's do it this way. I'll write up something for the next meeting, the actual public meeting,
Yep,
as our introductory letter to the neighborhood, the greeting from the land trust, to let them know what our plans on the property are. And then we can use, whether we use it with the council but basically I think it's our responsibility to sort of meet the
Yep.
neighbor. And we can put it in a positive format that, it's,
Mhm.
okay, so I'll handle that. Good point made. Trash, we talked about, debris, and then just prior to the event, we will do a definite walk of the trail and that. Dennis has the tool list. So after our meeting on after our walk on April 18th, the various tools that will be needed for the various projects for mounting the sign or putting the sign in, and then various things that we need for cleanup. And that gets us started. So April 18th will be a day that will help us really get going on this project.
And would you, for materials and tools, if we do it like we did last time, would you have your truck available? Your pickup? So we can carry all these items, the cement bags and so forth. Would that work?
And Jack?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay. And I'll be able to if whatever truck or whatever I can borrow from our group too. So
Oh,
tool.
Jack, would it be easy for you to do it?
What's that?
Would you be able to come to my house with your
Yeah,
truck? and
oh,
we can
yeah,
load this-
yeah.
All right. So Jack and I we'll move the material. Glad.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Jack, thank you.
All right, so that's our task list to get us started. Then the second part that will be the things that we have for the actual event itself, which was the tent and the table and the chairs and stuff. And again, I will, when we get to that list,
And also would be the handouts and so
the
forth.
handouts, the flyers, our stuff. Just a duplicate of what we did the last time was very.
That's all it is.
That all it is. So we'll grab that list after this. This is the primary one to get us going though. Okay, does anyone else have anything for this task list that we need to discuss? Okay. April 18th, that will get that going.
Between 10 and 12.
10 and 12, yeah. All right. So as we get down, that's the task worksheet, the sign update we just talked about. We're going to finish and approve the sign next meeting and get the money released. Press release, I'll handle that the same way as I handled the other one. We just for Joshua and Linda's, we invited, all the council members. We invited the state officials, the state reps that represent the area, both the representatives of the House and Senate. We will certainly invite members of the school committee and the school superintendent, since it's being named after Janice Sullivan. And so basically all the town and other state officials, along with, we reach out to the Rhode Island Land Trust Council through Rupert Friday's office, and they did a lot of advertising for us. And,
Right, they did.
and they're personally invited to.
But we have to make up the package to give to them so they can advertise it.
Yep.
Like we did last, I took the pictures and we did the write-up and then I send it to Candace, you know what I'm saying?
Candace Pounding. Yep. All right, so we got a good start on this, and
Nice.
as we did last time, we moved right along. The first part is just getting the trail, and the second part is the event itself. All right, so I got my one agenda item to do on that. Right letter, neighbor letter. Okay, any other questions moving forward?
I guess just with getting outside volunteers, once we assess that, I'd be comfortable going out there with other people, but are there waivers or other kind of safety considerations before we have people volunteering to do that work?
We haven't gotten waivers in the past. We're on town property. It'd be just like any other town situation. Obviously, we want to be careful and work safely on that. So,
Should you ask for an opinion from Nick?
we could. Is
We
that
will.
Ed?
We will.
Okay.
No, we
Okay.
need to, because I know if we bring them on, we may need a special waiver from them. Otherwise, we will be on the hook if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah. All right. So, Ed, can you just champion that? So we have that process at least in place, and we know in the future, what future situations, obviously we're represented because we are appointed by the town, but bringing somebody extra that's going to help on the work party if they get hurt, do they, if they sign a waiver or whatever that process is.
I will do that.
All right. So
Thank you.
that's another action, legal waiver. Okay. All right. Any other stuff for the Janice Sullivan Conservation Area? All right, moving down the agenda, we've covered all the old business. Does anyone else have anything on the old business? All right, I think we covered everything there. New ongoing trail management. We got the drones back on the agenda there, and we had talked about the issue with the town property and the pilot's license and all that.
I did speak to Mark Fisher this week. He's actually in Florida doing some drone work now, but he's going to follow up with Kevin LaRose, who did our the drone footage for us, and come up and give us an idea of what a price would be to do a similar a piece for each of our land properties. And he is a licensed pilot, and he'll provide us with documentation of that as well.
Okay, good. So we'll keep that going. We'll
Yep.
keep it moving.
And actually, he said if people are interested, if you're on Instagram, follow him on Instagram. He is EMDRONE1, and you can kind of see what his work is. But he's doing, like I said, he's doing drone work for the Blackstone Valley Tourism Association. So he's pretty good. He's credible.
Yeah, that's the kind of somebody that's already doing stuff for a property would be good to see
Yeah.
what they have.
And Kevin will work with him. Kevin LaRose will work with him. So he's very familiar and supportive of what we're doing. So hopefully we'll get a good deal with that.
Okay. All right. So, and just to bring Joshua and Linda back into the loop, one of our goals here is obviously aerial footage of the various properties and stuff that the land trust owns to add to, so you can click on a link when we get all this stuff accomplished, if we ever finish our rounds of stuff. But so you could click on a link and not only have a map of the property, the trail maps, and also, but the aerial, so you can sort of get a vision of what what the area looks like.
If you guys go on YouTube now and just Google or search on YouTube Coventry Land Trust, it'll come up what Kevin LaRose has already done for us.
Didn't, I think somebody sent that to me.
I
Is
sent-
that
I-
correct?
Oh,
Yeah.
did you? Yeah, it was a nice
Yeah.
piece. Yeah, he did a nice
Yeah, it
job.
was nice. Yeah, yeah. Is there a map in town that shows the land trust properties?
I have a
there a-
list of,
Yeah,
I have a list of the properties, but that we bought our interface with development rights. But the town basically owns the properties, but I have a
Right.
list of- that the land trust got involved in.
Okay, because it was just something I was wondering if it might be, at least for the properties that are public access, it might be really, really nice if the public knew about them and had a map of, hey, this Sunday I want to go walk this property or that property. So
that-
I don't know whether that would be,
That's,
So
I
we-
don't know. Go ahead, Glenn, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, when you get down to agenda item 7.4.3 GIS mapping and stuff,
okay,
goal here is to get some of this stuff done.
okay,
Yeah, we're 100% with you, because I want to be able to click on either search land trust lands or trails, in Rhode Island, and then our stuff come up, on there. as
right,
ability. The same thing with us knowing exactly where these properties are. So you can click up and say, all right, this is, so you would know, and Dennis does have a list of the things. And so we're on the same page. We'll talk to that in a minute. Boundary markers, and we're hoping to get some installed this year for sure. And our last thing was waiting on the screws. And
I will take care of that this week. I have totally forgotten about getting them ordered. They have been low on my priority list.
yeah, I bet
So
you
ladies
have.
and gentlemen, I will get them ordered this week.
All right. Yes, we want to get those up, so we'll keep that going. And I'll chase Ed this week by next week, so we can, if he forgets, we'll remind him. Kiosks, we talked about the kiosk at Stella Hall needing some work. So does anyone have any discussion on the kiosk situations?
Well, my only thought is, we do have some maintenance, but if we're going to try to make this September 18th date,
Okay,
I think it took us, what, three or 4 months to get ready for the first one we had,
Right.
if you remember.
Yeah.
So this might be shorter, because if we use the logging road, it might be a lot easier.
Mm.
Does that make sense, Jack?
Oh,
You
yeah,
think?
it's a super highway.
Okay, then we might pick up some time towards the end of in another month or two, maybe.
all right, general trail system and maintenance. So when maintenance requirements, and some of this, obviously, when we walk this trail that's out there, we will go over, again, what we're going to need and stuff. So for our new land trust members, if you do go to the Bowden property off a ledge road there, that one is, those trails are marked. And I encourage anybody after a winter season with the wind that we've had
Mhm.
to let us know if you do walk it, if there's anything that we need to do for cleanup. And, I've already taken care of a couple of trees that were down, but I haven't been down since, early last winter. So I know with the wind, we've probably got some more debris to clean up, but I encourage our trust members to walk those trails that are marked there and then report back and say, oh, it's not passable, we need to get down there.
where is it, Glenn?
So on Ledge Road, if you go up, as you're going to go visit Leia's property, if you leave yourself an extra half an hour or 40 minutes, just prior to getting to her house on the right-hand side as you're going south on Ledge Road, you will see a pull-off. It's past the last couple of houses. There's a lot of construction going on right now with some new houses and road work up there and driveway work. But once you get to the very top of the hill, that's where our property or the town's property is in our land trust. And on the right-hand side is a pull-off area that's got some stones, and you'll be able to see it. It's easy to find. And there's a trailhead there. There's a kiosk.
Right.
And if you go in, Dennis and Jack have done a great job marking the trail. And you can walk all the way down, if you stay on it, all the way down to Trestle Trail. And that's
Okay.
and walk all the way down. So if you have time, you can certainly walk that trail. But, if you do see anything that needs addressing, just shoot me an email, because then I can run down and clean it up or whatever, if anything's going on down there. So please do walk the trail there. That's
Is that plats 71 and 72? Just to confirm the location.
let me just.
71 and 84.
71 and 84. Okay.
I believe, am I correct in saying that, Glenn, if you got the map?
71, I'm just bringing it up now. 71 is right, 71 and 84. 95 is National
Electric company. Right.
that we have right away across. So we
Correct.
do have a trail that goes right across there over to 84, but it is 71. It starts right on the corner of 70, lot 70, but it's where Ledge Road is. But so if you look at lot 71, that's where the trail you want to hit there.
And it's got parking and you got a kiosk. That's the only one on Ledge Road that has a parking area and a kiosk, and the trail starts right at the kiosk. It's the blue trail.
Looking forward to checking it out.
Now,
Now, when you talk
Mhm.
about cleanup, is that something that we're empowered to just take action on smaller items,
Yeah.
whatnot, when we're there?
Yeah, if you see something that we can tackle ourselves, hand saw and a cut saw or whatever. Generally, that's, obviously we always like to have two people when we're doing any trail work or whatever. Obviously we don't want to have outsiders without this waiver or whatever. But if you see something, you can deal with it, or just, let me know, and then we can address it at the next meeting if it's something bigger. If there's a monster tree that fell across the trail and we need Public Works to deal with it or whatever, then we'll have to go into that. All right, GIS mapping. Stella Hall general cleanup. I'm going to skip over for now because I want to hit this GIS mapping. Do we have any report back yet on that?
all right, Eric sent me an email and he's ready to start getting the accounts set up. I emailed him back. Of course, we've been emailing the last couple of times, but maybe next month, I told our next meeting, we should try to bring him in to kind of tell us what he expects. He wants to do a trail run, help somebody set up an app at the trail we want to do. And I suggested to him that the Bolton Trail would be an ideal, situation to start. And I think, I'm not sure he would know, I didn't get into too much detail, but Ed might have to set up the main account for the town. And then the apps we can use, you know what I'm saying? Is how I understood it. So he's ready, I think, from what I gather from his email when we talked. He's ready.
Okay.
So I suggested him the April meeting, which is the 20th. And we can discuss with him, let's see, I wrote down. In fact, I told him by April 30th, I would let him know that the 20th would work and we would have people there. Ed might even have to be there if he can. So he's ready. He's waiting for us now.
Okay.
I'd like to talk to him to know what he's gonna need. If you could have him
Can I
give me a
want me
call.
to give you his email?
How about if you just have him give me a call? That way I don't have
Okay.
to remember to call him.
All right, okay. I got your number, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got you. Can I give him your email? Would that
I
work?
give them both, sir. You can
Okay.
give my
fair
email,
enough.
my phone number. You can even give them my cell number. If you get my card, it's everywhere. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, all right. All right, Ed, we got a deal.
All right, I'll move that along. Good. That will help us tremendously with the property mapping and everything, so. All right, I think we've covered everything. Is there anything on the agenda that I missed?
I don't think so.
All right, do we have any stuff that we haven't covered that needs to be added to the April agenda? We got quite a bit going now, so I wouldn't say that we have too much to add. I hope-
Staying busy.
Yeah.
I guess
we
I
got-
have a general question. I don't know if anyone's attending the Land Trust conference. It's coming up this Friday, Saturday.
Right. I'm going. I'll be, I signed up.
If there's any coordination to make sure we hit different sessions or any sessions that are of particular value to attend.
I think you could pick what you thought might help you, which in turn would help us. You know what I'm saying? That's all I do. I go down. I think this will be good for me. Then I say I can use it to help the land trust. You know, I'm trying to teach myself first, I guess.
Sounds good.
All right, yep, thanks for reminding everybody that that's coming up, and that's from, I unfortunately have some commitments, but we've had good feedback from the people that have attended the sessions and stuff.
Great.
Great, thanks, Joshua.
Thank
All
you.
right, is there anything else before we have a motion to adjourn? All right, Linda,
Lori's got something.
Oh.
I just have a couple questions. When I logged in after the executive session, you were already discussing the election of officers. So did I miss? I think you must have taken attendance, and I don't see Joyce anywhere, so she's not
Yeah, no,
present,
good.
right? Okay, and then did you do an coming out of executive session vote and then a seal minutes vote?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so I missed that.
Lori, it'll all be on the video.
Yeah, we did that. So when we came out, we were on video, so it's recorded.
Okay, oh, great, okay, thank you. Okay, all set.
And for the election of officers, you were voted in as
You missed that, didn't you?
you
What am
missed
I-
it.
what-
You won't
for
miss
what?
it again.
Okay, let me know what I have to do.
All right. With that, I'll accept the entertain a motion to adjourn.
A motion. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I heard Linda. Linda makes a
Linda.
motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Dennis Green, second. Any further discussion? Being none, I'll do roll call. Ready to adjourn. Dennis Green.
Here.
Aye,
I
say
mean,
aye.
adjourn.
Linda. Linda Brennan.
Aye.
Been a long
Rory
day.
Carmody.
Aye.
Jack Donovan.
Aye.
Joshua Clements.
Aye.
Glenn Underwood. Aye. And I think that's everybody.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll meet April 18th. We got a site walk with Joshua and Linda. So April 18th, we'll all see you there 10 a.m. at the
Okay.
Bramblebush.
Bramblebush. All right, thanks,
Bramble.
everybody.
Looking forward to it. Take
Thank
care, everyone.
Good night.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Good
Thanks,
night.
Ted.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Bye.
night.
Have a good day
Bye-bye.
tomorrow.